Cool. So we have Mojito
Yes.
wanting to get trained. And I saw, I just briefly looked at your consultation, but I think I already have a general idea of like Mojito and everything. Like, he's a really excited guy, he knows what he wants, so he's going to get it. And I just see like you want to bring him to work, but he's barking at the people and everything or something like that.
He's barking. He doesn't really stay in one place. He crawls under all the desks and then gets tangled up in the cords. It's a hot mess. But everybody loves him there. They want him to come, but I'm like, I'm exhausted by the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So go ahead and fill me in more in on Mojito and what you're, trying to work on or accomplish, and what other issues you're having with him.
He doesn't really like to listen. He's can be kind of defiant. So if I tell him to sit, I'm gonna have to tell him like 5 or 6 times until he does it. Just so he like starts listening to commands and stuff. So.
What kind of commands are you looking for?
Just like sit and lie down, just that kind of stuff. He does pretty good on walks, like when I tell him to whoa or heel, he does good on those. So.
Okay. Anything else you should know about Mojito, or anything you're trying to work on, or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think I'll let part. What is it? From here, he just seems very hesitant on a lot of things. So like, bring him out of the crate. He's kind of like, nah, I don't want to go. And we'll bring him out, and then he'll play for a little bit. Then he's done playing, and he'll just like lay there. And anyone who enters his space, he'll start snapping at like once or twice. And then after that, he's like, okay, I'll play again. So it's just like he kind of just doing his own thing in his own little world. What else? For training tools and everything. And then you do know we work on like e-collars and like prong collars and stuff like that. Yeah. So when we do e-collar work, do you know what an e-collar is?
No.
I'll get into it first. But before I get into that, the harness, we're going to want to switch that out because harnesses actually promote pulling. So usually when we're bringing him out, there's no way to kind of stop him from pulling because he already knows he's going to go home. So it's just like we have to just do our best to kind of control him, right? Because the harness promotes pulling. Dogs have what is called opposition reflex. When you pull back, they want to pull forward. If you pull left, they pull right. If you pull right, they pull left. If you pull forward, they want to pull back. So essentially, we want to switch that out to either just like a regular collar, just to kind of make it be more clear to him of what we're wanting, right? Because when we're working with e-collar, there's certain exercises that we need to teach him to let him know, what this feeling is, that he's in control of it. Like we're not just blasting him with the remote or anything like that. He's the one who controls it. And in order to do that, there's a certain command that we do. It's called the heel command, where we're teaching him how to walk in our style of heel. And then the harness can actually go against that because the harness is telling him to pull, right? But the e-collar is telling him to not pull, so then he gets conflicted. Harnesses are used for like huskies to pull, horses, to pull carriages. We also use harnesses in protection training to create aggression. So since when we pull, they want to go forward, it becomes like this negative pressure right here. So in protection training, what will happen is handler will have the dog in a harness. They pull back, they release, they pull, release, until they've created enough frustration because the dog wants to go somewhere. You pull them back, you let them go, but then you pull them back. So they're getting frustrated. Once they've created enough frustration / aggression, they let the dog go and they go and bite the guy in the suit or girl, whoever's in the suit. So a simple, just flat collar would be fine for Mojito. And when I mean flat, I mean one of these where it just kind of, I think it already has one, where it goes through the loop and like you pull it. So not the snap one, not the one that just click together, because those tend to just break. We've seen a lot of them just snap off. But what you're looking for is a lot of control, stationary control of like, don't do this, Don't start to wander under people's desks. And when I say something, I should only say it once, and then you should just do it, and that's all. There should be no protest. There should be no puppy-like behavior, like I don't want to do it though. I want to roll over, doing all this goofy stuff, right? It's just sit is sit, down is down. Our version of down is lay down, don't move for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, however long you're needing him to stay down. And there are other training tools that can get you that much control, like maybe prong collar. Prong collar is a good step forward because it allows you to correct your dog. So the prong collar is like those spiky ones, like the spiky collar ones. It's supposed to mimic a dog bite, so that's why there's so much success, because it's physical. So dogs are physical animals. If Mojito, is done playing and wants to go lay down in the corner, and a dog is approaching him and he wants his space, he'll let them know by snapping or like biting, or like maybe if Mojito's at a dog park and he gets mounted, he's probably gonna bite just to correct that dog. Dogs don't give each other treats. They don't say, "Hey, no, leave it," when they're mounting or anything like that. It's just, you mount me, I correct you. There's an action, there's a consequence immediately after. Um, so the prong collar is supposed to mimic a dog bite, so they understand that physicality, because again, they're physical animals, so they understand what that means right off the bat. Now, the issue with prong collar is sometimes it won't be enough power or pressure to stop certain behaviors. Like if Mojito's getting a little excited and everything, you can start giving leash pops, like corrections with a prong, but he's still excited because it's not strong enough. So it's a common thing of like, it's funny enough, but like golden retrievers, they're so happy-go-lucky. You start correcting, they're like, so like, what's that mean? I don't know, because they don't perceive threat. So they're still goofy and everything, or like our bully breeds, like Rotties, or any type of large breed dog. And the Mohitos are pretty good size too. So again, it's a good step forward, but then you have the issue of, is it enough for the dog? Once you take that leash off, you've lost all control. What else? And then that brings us to e-collar. So e-collar is, have you ever been to a physical therapist?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a TENS unit or like STEM?
Mm-hmm.
So that same technology is e-collar. It's just a muscle contractor. And the way the physical therapists kind of use it with their clients or patients is very similar to how we do with dogs. So therapists, would say, let me know when it's too uncomfortable. As it increases the number, client says, that's enough. Then the therapist lowers it 2 levels down, and then they let the machine do its work. Same way we do with dogs, very similar. The brand we use is called Dogtra. We call them e-collars. Some people still call them shock collars. Shock collars is like the old school term. The e-collar is electric, but it's not electricity. So it's not like flowing through the dog's body. If you've seen one, it has like the box and the strap and then 2 contact points. Whatever these 2 contact points are touching is what it's affecting. So if I had it on my palm of my hand like this, and I started going up on the numbers, you'll start to see my thumb start to twitch. You won't see my neck because it's on my hand. So it's only whatever it's touching. The brand we use is Dogtra, and it has 127 levels. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 127. There are other brands and models out there that maybe go up to 10. So think of the power of 10 equal to 127. We just have so many more numbers to be more specific to the dog's personality, the breed, the scenario we're in, and all these other things. You can be very specific. They're waterproof, mile to a half-mile long range. Usually people don't need a mile-long range with these e-collars, but you have that distance. They're rechargeable. There's no batteries included. It's just charge it up. Very simple to use, very easy. What else? Any questions so far?
I don't think so.
So with the e-collar, like I said before, the command we would want to teach Mojito first to understand what it is either the heel command or place. So we usually opt for the heel because it's very easy to practice. Everyone walks their dogs. Our style of heel is walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop. So if I take 5 steps with Mojito, Mojito takes 5 steps. If I take 10, he takes 10. If I come to a stop, he's to automatically sit on my left side with his right shoulder parallel with my left leg. Like he can't pass or anything. It's right here in any environment. So that's how strict it is. And what we're teaching him is, one, when you feel this, it means something's incorrect. You're doing something wrong. But then when you come to our left side in the correct position, pressure is off. So he's realizing, oh, every time I move here, it goes away. Okay, I know what it is now. I understand why it goes off, why it goes on. I'm the one in control of it. So letting him know of that. Oh, is that Mojito? Oh.
Yeah, that's Mojito.
So we're letting him know that you're in control of it. We're not telling him to do something wrong and blast him with the e-collar. We start, like I said before, we start low and we work our way up. I don't know what Mojito's number is going to be. He'll be the one to let us know the day we start training. So a lot of clients will say, like, my dog's super soft. They're going to be low numbers or something like that. Then they end up being like 50 or 40. That's their working number. Or other dogs who are like, yeah, my dog's really tough. They're going to be a high number. They end up like being like 15 or 20. So I have no idea what Mojito's number is going to be. All I can tell you is that the brand that will be best suited for Mojito, I mean, not the brand, the model. The brand is Dog Show, but the model would be something I already know because of its size and everything. So once we teach heel, the concept of what pressure on, the pressure off, what that is for Mojito, then we can start teaching other commands and correcting certain behaviors. So what else? Any questions so far?
I don't think so, no.
So for the stationary stuff, it's just with the e-collar as well. It's very easy to teach, very easy to learn from Mojito. And it's very good that, you bring them to work and everything, and it'll give you a lot of time to practice that. And it'll definitely make life a lot more easier. Because with e-collar, there's no confrontation. There's, how do I say? There's no like yanking on the leash. There's no, hey, leave it. Or like, Mojito, come here, right? You're just pressing a button. That's all you have to do. So it's very easy, and it's very relieving for owners to realize how easy it is to train a dog with e-collar. So it'll be very simple for you at work. It'll save you a lot of talking, or maybe a lot of time to focus on Mojito, because again, all you're doing is pressing a button. Jesse will tell his clients, everything in this world is now button based, because now you're able to start your cars with buttons now. So it's very, natural now for humans to just press a button to train a dog now. So it's very easy. It's in our generation's language, I guess you can say. What else? So there are some common questions owners have when asking about the e-collar. One of them is it on all the time? Is it like, we do the training program, the e-collar is on, and then after the program, does it come off, or do I still need it at work, or how does that work? So it's on when you need it. So if you're going to bring him to work, it's going to be on, because a day in work can always change. There could be some construction going on, and if one day you don't know that's happening, you show up to work and you're like, oh man, and the Mojito's kind of all over the place, like maybe he's a little nervous or excited or just overstimulated, then you don't have the e-collar, so you can't kind of chill him out. Or maybe something happens where, like, because as in your coworkers, do they bring dogs too, or your employees, or?
Yeah, some of them do.
Yeah, so maybe one dog maybe enters his space, and then you have to correct him, or you don't have the tool to address it. Or even on walks, you would have the e-collar on, because we can't predict what's going to happen on this walk as well. So let's say we're walking, and then we're walking on a busy street, and a car accident happens. It catches you off guard. It catches Mojito off guard. So maybe he bolts, and maybe you get knocked down, or like the leash slips out your hand, or he slips out the collar, or something like that. Something happens. Well, Mojito is going to be very difficult to bring back, because when we call that flight mode, when he's running away from something. When dogs are in flight mode, they're thinking kill or be killed, so they're running for their life. The only way to bring a dog back out of flight mode is through power of the remote, to override the brain in that moment, letting him know you do not run, you need to come back to me. So that's when it's like really need it. For like walks, we can't predict what's going to happen, or in the office, maybe, you know, something surprising occurs and you're not ready for it, or, you know, it's best to have that tool to, just in case. So like my dog, Jesse's dogs, the other trainers' dogs, we have the e-collar on always when we go outside, but we only press a button like once a month, maybe. You know, it's there if we need it. And we did all the hard work. We did all the pressing in the beginning so that we wouldn't have to do all the tapping later, right? So all the hard work needs to be done in the beginning so that, you know, it's ingrained in them, and we shouldn't always be tapping that button. If we're still tapping that button constantly, then there's something wrong with the trainer, or something is not correct. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
let's say you know, it's getting the end of work or something, and everyone's leaving, and like you're there, and then you're like, well, he doesn't really need it on. Then you can take it off. Or in the home, if he's just kind of just chill hanging out, then you don't need the e-collar on. Or let's say you're having guests come over, and you know he probably gets a little jumpy or a little, you know, excited, and you're not really wanting that energy with your guests. You'd collar him up 30 minutes prior, address whatever that is needing to be addressed when your guests arrive. After that, if you find that Mojito is pretty much relaxed throughout the whole night, you can take it off. Or if you want to keep it on, that's kind of just up to you how you want to go about it that way. And yeah, any questions so far?
No.
Another common question is, how come when I take the e-collar off, maybe Mojito presses boundaries? Maybe, you know, he's doing good with the e-collar on, he stays laying down, doesn't move. Then once you take it off, he's maybe like trying to crawl away, trying to sneak away. It's called opportunistic behavior. So uh, we like to compare it to, for the human way, would be driving. Do you drive on the highway?
Yeah.
Do you go the speed limit?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
All the time?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, okay. Usually people don't go the speed limit. So then when we ask that question, they're like, no. And then what happens when you see a squad car? Okay, we slow down. So it's called opportunistic behavior. Humans do it. If we know we can get away with something, we're going to get away with it. So it's just a nature thing. It has nothing to do with the training. It has nothing to do with the eco. It has nothing to do with the way you're practicing. It's just nature. All dogs are different. Some dogs are very opportunistic. Other dogs are just very soft, and they just aren't as, you know, what's the word? Smart. I don't want to say smart, but just you know, opportunistic. So that's normal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So uh, what were you looking for? Because we have a few programs, um, Daycare and Train. We have the Board and Train. We have in person, like one-on-one. Is there a specific program you were looking for to do, or?
So he typically goes to daycare on Mondays and Tuesdays, but he's also going to be boarded with you guys for the next 2 weeks, starting like Monday evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, so did you want to make that boarding for 2 weeks a board and train, or?
I mean, yeah, if we can do that, we could do the board and train while he's there.
Yeah, it's up to you, because Mojito, you're just looking for basic obedience.
Mm-hmm.
So the board and train would be good, because it's nothing like behavior wise. You're not, you know, it's not like aggression or anything like that where you need to be there and watch what's going on, but it's just obedience. So in the board and train program, he will learn heel, stay, sit, down, place, which is like go to your bed, don't move, don't hop off, and then recall. For the 2 week board and train, that's actually like the one I was going to recommend for you, because we have the 2 week board and train, 3 week, the 4 week, and they're all depending on how much control you're wanting from Mojito. So for the 2 week, you get two 1 hour long videos. The first video is called the introductory sessions, where they're most likely going to be me teaching Mojito all the 6 commands, and you're watching how he's, you know, responding to the e-collar. You're watching how we're teaching him and watching his progression as well. Once these videos are completed, they're all compiled into one, and then they're sent out to you. After that, we do the second week video, where we kind of transfer his obedience to the 30-foot long leash phase, where we're giving him we're giving him 30 feet to make mistakes, and we're kind of advancing his obedience from there. He'll still be able to play with the dogs, do the regular daycare stuff. He'll also be doing duration work here. So I don't know if you've seen on our stories where like dogs are on like these beds, on like these columns. He'll be doing that as well, just kind of like staying there. So since that's one of your goals, we'll be practicing that a lot. Duration work of staying in this bed and then don't move. And he'll be right here in like this, because the duration work happens in like the main area. So like there's like the entrance, the beds, kennels, playpen, another playpen there, another playpen here, and then the training floor is right there. So they're in the middle of everything. So it's very can be very difficult for some dogs if they want to keep moving and moving around. The board and train 2-week program also comes with 4 hours of follow-up that take place either at Palmer Park or Palmer Square Park or Oz Park. We operate at Oz Park just because everything is there. Dogs, roller skaters, rollerbladers are the same thing. Off-leash dogs, baseball games, everything is there. So if you can train your dog at Oz Park, you can pretty much train anywhere. So our follows will still take place at Oz Park, just so you get that experience of, being in a busy environment with Mojito and how to kind of work the commands there. What else? Any questions about the board and train?
Yeah, so he's gonna be there. So we were gonna drop him off in the evening on Monday, and then he was gonna be there till the 18th. So it's a little like under 2 weeks.
Under
like,
2 weeks?
It's like 13-ish days.
Okay. So that's like just a day off?
Unless you count him being there in the evening on the 6th, and it'd be like 2 days off.
Monday will count. I'll still be able to work with him and everything.
Okay.
If you want to get the full 2 weeks, you can just add an extra day, because either way, because you're paying for the 2-week board and train.
Mm-hmm.
You can just add an extra day just to get the full the payment, if that makes sense. But yeah, that should be fine. We can just add a day, or if not, trying to think.
Well, he would be so we would pick him up on Saturday the 18th, and then he would be back at daycare that Monday.
Let me see. So you're dropping him off when again?
Monday evening. He's going on a trip this weekend, so he won't get back till, we were going to drop him off by like 6 or something, 6 p.m.
So he's coming next Monday, the 6th, right?
Yeah. And then he scheduled to leave the 18th, which is a Saturday, and then he'll be back in daycare Monday.
Oh, yeah, we can because he's already there for 1 week, and then he's just kind of missing like a day or two. So we can like still train him for his Monday and Tuesday, right?
Yep.
So we can I think that can work out.
Okay.
Just so you can get your full, your money's worth. But that'll be discussed with Kim, but I'm seeing it now and it should be fine. Any other questions? So you for sure want to do the board and train?
Yeah.
Cool. What else? Anything else?
I don't think so.
Cool. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. So again, you're just basically, because he'll have the heal, he'll have recall, and then we'll teach him the stationary commands for you to transfer at work. But what else? Am I missing anything? Has he boarded here before?
No, this is his first time.
Okay, just wondered. All right, well, if there's nothing else, it sounds very simple, very easy. Just teaching him the regular commands. And then other than that, if there's nothing else, is it Gabby or what's your name again? Gabriel?
Gabby.
If there's something else, Gabby, or if something comes up, feel free to email me and I'll answer any questions. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead. So after like the consultations and everything, a follow-up email is sent out to you. In the follow-up email, it'll include the 2-week board and training program that you're wanting, the price, and then the e-collar I recommend for Mojito. Since you're doing the board and train, a lot of clients who do like the daycare and train or the board and train, they end up just purchasing the e-collar through us because we have it on the shelf right here, so we can just bring it out and then just start working with him. It's more like the in-person clients tend to buy it themselves so they can get familiar with it. Come first lesson, they already know what it is, but you also have the option to buy it yourself. So in the follow-up email, it'll be an Amazon link to purchase the e-collar yourself, or if you want to purchase it through us, you'll have to let Kim know just so she knows to add that to, to invoice you for that. So it's just kind of like personal preference, however you want to go about it. She'll also include, I don't know. Oh, never mind. So there would have been like an agreement form to sign and everything, but since you already signed up on Ginger, you're all set already. So there's nothing else to fill out. So the next step would be letting her know if you want to buy the e-collar through us or you order it yourself on Amazon. And then whenever, then after that, it'll begin the billing and booking process like right off the bat, since you're already signed the agreements and everything. So you're all set technically. So you're a step ahead technically. So that follow-up email will be sent out, and then Kim will be reaching out to you, getting you set up with the 2-week board and train, billing, and then booking as well. Cool.
So is the boarding included in the training fee? He's like booked for boarding. I just haven't gotten any invoices to pay for the boarding, so I don't know.
Oh, so board and train is like one thing. Like it's
one thing. Okay.
Training. Yes. So you won't be paying like boarding and then training. It's just board and train program for 2 weeks.
Okay.
But you requested that already, or she set it up or something, or?
Yeah, he's already scheduled in boarding. I just haven't paid for it because I never got any invoice. So.
Got it. All right. I'll let her know, and then she'll reach out. She'll be reaching out to you.
Okay. Cool.
All righty. All right, Gabby. Nice talking to you. Nice seeing a little bit of Mojito in the corner. Yeah. But then other than that, we'll see you Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Cool. All righty. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.